I think in relation to the future of Erik Ten Hag, it's very obvious when you see what Gabby said, that he needs sacking, and he's not the only one who was saying that. And look, Gabby Agbonlahor is not a Manchester United fan. Neither is Martin Keown. Neither is Jamie Carragher. So they want Manchester United to suffer. I don't take any notice of their opinion because I don't trust it, and they wouldn't trust my opinion on Liverpool or Arsenal because I might want them to continue to fail. Of course, if Man United change their manager, it's the sixth one in 10 years. It's instability. It's a backlog of players that those sacked managers have bought. I think, like many Man United fans, we're not in a good place at the moment, and that naturally will put pressure on a Manchester United manager. That needs to happen. But my course is clear that we need to stick with this manager. For the first time ever, we're bringing a structure in, a director of football, a CEO. It looks like we're going to have the big clear out in the summer that's needed. I think that anybody who's watched United for the last few years knows that the manager's not the problem. There's a collection of players that play different systems that don't suit the way we need to play. There's a collection of players that have sacked 3 or 4 managers that need to go. And there's a new vision from Sir Jim Radcliffe that needs to be followed, and patience is required. And I think if you change a manager, he probably comes in, wants to buy his own players, says to everybody who's here, let's have another chance. We can't afford that anymore. We need the clear out. We need a bit of stability. And whether Ten Hag's the right guy or not, I think for the next year, it just is the right thing to follow through on removing some players and sticking with this. And also, Arsenal went from 8th to title contenders. Liverpool went from terrible to they're on the course to win 4 cups. I believe the Chelseas, Newcastles, and Manchester Uniteds, it wouldn't surprise me if they were in the top 4 challenging next year, because I think you can turn it around quite quickly. And there are mitigating circumstances this year with, upheaval, and Man United's injury record is just ridiculous. And we've seen it with Man City. You take Rodri out of Man City and they lose games. Man United have had Shaw, Højlund, Martinez, Casemiro, Maguire. Bruno's injured apparently now. Rashford's had his issues. It's been a write-off of a season for United, and I think let's not sack the manager for once and let's rebuild and see what happens next year. I think the only criticism I would level at Ten Hag is that, when I watch them play this season, we do get overwhelmed in the midfield. But it's very easy to say, well, United play a deep line and a high block, and you can park a bus in the midfield. But I saw that against Fulham, and I agree with the criticism. But what people don't do is they don't explain why. They don't talk about the injuries. And also, the only way to be compact with that defence is to park the bus. Well, if you park the bus at home to Fulham, then everyone's doing a different tactical analysis of you can't park the bus if you're Man United at Old Trafford. So I personally don't blame Ten Hag for a lot. I think he's made a couple of bad signings, but so's Pep. Every manager makes bad signings. I just think the problems are not the manager, but I think the easy target is always the manager because they're accountable for results. But we've done this so many times. It's a cycle. We've done it with Moyes. We've done it with Van Gaal. We've done it for Mourinho. We've done it with Oli. We've done it with Rangnick, and we're going to do it with Ten Hag. And what's that saying? The definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and over. And Ineos are a new thing. So if they're going to sack a manager, it just feels like a Glazer decision again, and they don't want to be associated with that. I think the majority of United fans deep down know the best way forward is to stick with this, like Arsenal did with Arteta, and let's see what next season brings. Well, I think with Thomas Tuchel, look, Liverpool are looking for a manager. Barcelona are looking at a manager. If you ask me about Tuchel to Liverpool, even though our rival, I'd say you're having a laugh. Like, absolutely not. He is not. He's almost become the Pochettino of the managerial merry-go-round, where he had a very good reputation, but, both been sacked by PSG, of course. But Tuchel goes to Bayern Munich, which is a one-horse race, and messes that up. He messed it up at Chelsea on, a clash or ego or whatever. I don't see what the CV is to come to Manchester United. I think it's a big red flag. I'd rather go for a De Zerbi or the Sporting Lisbon coach or Hansi Flick or someone like that than go for Thomas Tuchel, who is fast becoming a bit of a, wish version of Mourinho, where he's nowhere near got the CV of Mourinho, but it's almost like a manager FC, if you know what I mean. It's like, it's Thomas Tuchel. We've got to go and get him. Liverpool won't go anywhere near him. I don't think Barcelona would, although their club's in a mess. And Manchester United shouldn't be going anywhere near him. I also think his talent recruitment is abysmal. And people will say, well, he bought Harry Kane. But, I'd buy Harry Kane. If you look beyond that, no, absolutely not. And I don't think he's got a great track record of getting on with owners of clubs either. So Man United won't go anywhere near him. I think it's just his agent trying to tout him around. I think he'd be a good fit for West Ham. I think that's about where he is at the moment.